What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and today we're going to talk about the new anime based on the Tekken game series, called Tekken Bloodline. A few weeks late, oh boy, but who cares? So, I'm already super excited just because it's Tekken, but I'm more excited because it's based on Tekken 3, the best storyline in the game, and my personal favorite. I like Tekken 4 a lot too, it's a pretty close second, but Tekken 3 just beats it. But the coolest part is, it seems to be taking its own spin on the series as Leroy Smith is there for some reason. For those who don't know, Leroy Smith is a character that didn't appear in the series until Tekken 7, as DLC like 2 or 3 years ago, and Tekken 3 is a story from over 20 years ago. But the thing is, based on his timeline, Leroy Smith totally could have fit in at Tekken 3. Now, people are a bit confused because he still has the white facial hair and everything, implying that he's still old, so people are wondering how this could be the current Leroy way back then. But people are forgetting that the in-game timeline between Tekken 3 and Tekken 7 is only like 6 to 8 years. So it's perfectly logical for Leroy to be in Tekken 3 and look just about as old as he did in Tekken 7. Either way, it's really cool to see, and it makes me wonder what other characters could show up, like Fakumram or Lydia, the other new characters from Tekken 7's DLC, or maybe just new characters in general, Lily, Asuka, Lars, Claudio. Maybe we could even get some brand new characters made specifically for the anime that could show up in a later Tekken game. The inclusion of Ganryu shows that we could also get some older Tekken characters that didn't make it to Tekken 3, since Ganryu wasn't in Tekken 3 either. For example, Bruce, or Bekto-san, who actually plays a pretty big part in Hwoarang's Tekken 3 story. So as far as showing off fan favorite characters goes, I think they're gonna do an excellent job, even more than the OVA way back in the day. One of the final shots in the trailer is Jin taking on King, a character who has nothing to do with the main Mishima plot. But he is extremely popular, so I'm excited to see that he's getting some of the spotlight. Aside from characters though, I'm also very pumped for the story. Not only because, as I mentioned earlier, it's the Tekken 3 story, but Tekken 4 has a fantastic story too that I'd love to see in anime form. And I'd love to see Tekken 5's story fleshed out because it's such a nothing plot. It's basically, here's this Mishima you didn't know about, and then let's kill him off. Tekken 5's only real forwarding of the plot was putting Jin in charge of the Mishima Zaibatsu. It definitely needs more meat to it, and this anime could fix that. I'd also like to see the in-betweens of Tekken 5 and 6, so we can actually watch Jin be corrupted by the Mishima Zaibatsu's power, and they could have a chance to make Lars an actually compelling character. And then after that, they can finally do Tekken 7. It's the biggest Tekken game. I think it finally surpassed Tekken 3 at this point. And with the story being so reliant on the whole history of all the previous games, this is pretty much the only way you can do it, an anime starting off at a much earlier point. I know that sounds like a lot, covering the stories of 20 years worth of games, but each game, with the exception of Tekken 6, actually isn't that long story-wise. They could easily do one game per season. In fact, I think Tekken 4 and 5 could share a season. And then finally, they could end things off with Tekken 8, with the game likely coming out around the time the anime catches up to that point. And I only say that because Tekken 7 is all about Kazuya and Heihachi, when Tekken 3 and the Tekken anime is supposed to focus on Jin. So it would be pretty weird to end it on Tekken 7, and Tekken 8 is looking like it's going to be about Jin, so that makes more sense. Or I could be completely wrong, and the entire thing could be Tekken 3 stretched out however long they want to do it. Or they could finish Tekken 3 and go in a completely different direction from the games, telling their own unique story, and that'd be cool too. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Enough fanboying though. Let's talk about the actual production. The animation quality looks great. It's apparently 3D, but it uses a lot of elements that makes it look 2D. The art style and character designs are fantastic. I like all the dynamic camera shots when they're doing different moves, and the moves they're doing are from the games, even with those little special sparkly effects and stuff. The only issue I have with the visuals is that the entire thing is shaded with one giant dark triangle that's in the center of the screen the entire time. I barely even noticed it until someone brought it up on Twitter, and now it's all I can see. So, yeah, you're welcome. It's all you'll be able to see now too. Hopefully it gets changed or at least toned down some in the final release. Then there's also the voice acting, which is extremely good from the little bit we've heard so far. Now, normally I'm a bit easier on anime dubs anyways because I have poor eyesight, so keeping up with subs is a bit tricky, leading dubs to be my preferred option. But even with my bias, I think most will give it a pass. I can't quite tell who's voicing Jun or Heihachi, but from the tiny snippet we've heard of Jin, it sounds like Yuri Lowenthal, the voice of Sasuke Uchiha from Naruto, but it sounds closer to his performance as Dainsleif in Genshin Impact. I don't know if it really is him, but it sounds like it is, and if it is, then that's cool because that's who I'd choose. The only one I'm a bit iffy on is Heihachi. There's nothing wrong with the voice itself, but I just think it would fit Kazuya way better. Because, you know, it sounds very devious and snakely,
which is how I always imagined Kazuya to sound if he were dubbed. Ooh, I'm so evil.
But when it comes to Heihachi, I imagine a more bolder, more powerful voice with lots of gravitas. Do you know what gravitas is? It's like, greetings all. Yes, gravitas. Power. Yes, Heihachi. But overall, with everything said, I think it looks great and I'm super duper excited for it. But let me know what you guys think, especially the ones that know nothing about Tekken. Does this look like an interesting gateway to the franchise for you, or are you gonna enjoy the anime as its own little thing? Leave your answers down in the comment section below and I'll be sure to check each and every one out. I'll see you guys next time. Leopold the Brave, out.